Hello guys, welcome back to the YouTube video. Today we are going to talk about Mars. So, this is not the type of Mars we are actually going to talk about today. The Mars that we will talk about is this Mars, the fourth planet in the solar system, also known as the red planet. So, these are all the basic stuff we're going to talk about Mars today. We're going to talk about diameter, surface, atmosphere, temperature, orbit, and of course, life on Mars. So, now, um, Mars is the fourth planet and the furthest terrestrial planet from the Sun. The reddish colour of its surface is due to finely grained iron oxide dust in the soil, giving it the nickname the Red Planet, of course. So, how I mean is the furthest terrestrial planet is it is the furthest rocky planet from the Sun. All the other planets in the solar system, that are located beyond Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Those planets are gas planets, and Mars and the other planets that are before Mars are in fact rocky. So that's why they're called terrestrial planets. And Mars is the furthest one, and it's the fourth planet in the solar system. So now Mars's diameter. So Mars's radius is second smallest among the planets in the solar system at 3,389.5 kilometers, which makes 2,106 miles. So it's quite a small planet, actually, guys. Mars, a lot smaller than Earth. I forgot to make a comparison with Earth, its size and that, but it's the second smallest planet in the solar system, apparently. Well, before 2006, Pluto was the smallest planet in the solar system, but and making Mars the third smallest um, planet in the solar system. But since 2006, Mars has been the second smallest planet. So now Mars' surface. Uh, the Martian ditch, dichotomy is visible from the surface. On average, the terrain on Mars's northern hemisphere is flatter and lower than its southern hemisphere. So, apparently, Mars's surface in the northern hemisphere is actually flat, basically. No mountains, no hills, no bumps, no whatever, just completely flat. But in the southern hemisphere, lots of mountains, lots of uh, bumpies, rockies, and all that, small hills. So, very, very different compared to the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere on the surface of Mars. The next, Mars's atmosphere. So, Mars has a thin atmosphere made primarily of carbon dioxide. So, molecular nitrogen and argon. It also contains trace levels of water vapor, oxygen, carbon monoxide, hydrogen, and noble gases. So most of Mars' atmosphere is just carbon dioxide, which is actually not good for humans. So of course it does have a tiny bit of oxygen and some water vapor, but no physical water on the surface. But it's not good for to support life on Mars. So it's Very different compared with Earth, as you can tell on the graph here, compared with Earth and Mars. On Earth, 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and very little carbon dioxide. But as for Mars, it's completely the opposite. 96% of carbon dioxide in the Mars' atmosphere. So very, very different compared to Earth. So, next, Mars' temperature. So, the atmosphere of Mars is a lot cooler than Earth's. Owing to the larger distance from the Sun, Mars receives less solar energy and has a lower effective temperature, which is about 210 degrees Kelvin, which makes minus 63 degrees Celsius. So that's very cold, guys. About as cold as Antarctica. And this is not the temperature of the poles and that on Mars. It's the temperature around the, let's say, equator of Mars. Equator of Mars, the closest part of the planet to the Sun, is minus 63 degrees. But it looks to me like on the poles, on the artwork of the temperature map of Mars, the poles area looks like it's about colder than minus 125 degrees. So, so the average surface emission temperature of Mars is just 215 degrees Kelvin, which makes minus 58 degrees Celsius, which is comparable to inland Antarctica. Yes, of course. So, very cold planet, guys, Mars. So, yeah, like I said, on the equator, minus 63 degrees, maybe even warmer, minus 58. But at the poles areas, minus 100, 125, maybe even a lot colder. So, of course, we wouldn't survive on on this planet, even if it does have a thicker atmosphere, but not warm enough to support much life on. So next, Mars's orbit. So Mars's orbit is around 687 days. Mars's orbit is also much slower than Earth's. So Earth's orbital speed is 107,218 kilometers per hour, and Mars's orbital speed is just 86,677 kilometers per hour. So a lot slower than Earth's, guys. So, and also it's much more further than Earth to the Sun. So that's why it takes a lot longer for the Mars, of course, with its speed, is going to take a lot longer to orbit around the planet, around the Sun. Planet what? Guys, I'm stupid. So, and also on the graph, on the picture here, certain parts of the orbit on its location, some of it is actually nearest to the sun, and other parts of the orbit is actually furthest from the sun. But of course, it does have season change as well, and also because the orbit is slower, the seasons last longer. So winters last longer, summers last longer, springs last longer, and autumns last longer. So this is the orbital speed of Mars. So next, Mars's day length. So Mars's day length is almost the same as Earth's day. So that's interesting. So Earth's day length is exactly, as we all know, is 24 hours. So every 24 hours is 1 day. 1 day. But as for Mars, Mars's day length is about 24 hours and 37 minutes. So Mars's day length is only just 37 minutes longer than Earth's. So very similar to ours, guys. So maybe that's one reason why Mars could support life. It's in the olden days, like millions of years ago, maybe billions. Uh, so yeah, this is actually quite surprising to me when I first heard about the day lengths of Mars comparing with Earth. Just 37 minutes longer. That's it. No, not much difference at all. So next, do humans age faster on Mars? Well, so if you mean gravitational time dilation, you'd age faster on Mars or any other planet with less gravity than Earth and slower than Jupiter or any planet with more gravity than Earth. But the difference would be utterly insignificant, a fraction of a second over an entire human lifetime. So it depends which planet you're on, which gravity, how strong the gravity is. But actually, the stronger the gravity is, I think the time goes faster. And the weaker the gravity is, the slower the time will go. So, but this is all just theory, you guys. But it has been actually scientifically proven the fact that in one of the Stephen Hawking's documentary shows, if you go on top of the mountain, very high mountain, um, Mount Lemon, I think, in somewhere in the United States, on top, the clock moved slightly forward by 26 nanoseconds faster. Um, 1 second is 1 billion nanoseconds, you guys. Doesn't seem much difference, but it actually moves the time quicker on top of the mountain than on the ground on a sea level area on Earth. So I was actually really surprised by that, by hearing this. So the weaker the gravity is, the I forgot again. Guys, I always forget this part. So I'm sure you guys heard what I said earlier. So okay, move on now. So next, did Mars have life? So this is the $1 billion question for all of us. This is all what we wanted to know, if Mars actually had life on this planet. Um, so up to date, no proof of past or present life has been found on Mars. So nothing has been found yet. So cumulative evidence suggests that during the ancient Noachian time period, the surface environments of Mars had liquid water and may have been habitable for microorganisms, but habitable conditions did not necessarily indicate life. So, um, up to date, no evidence has been proven about any life has been found on planet Mars. Um, for example, the previous life on Earth, um, even though the dinosaurs have been extinct for about 65 million years, We still eventually found out about the dinosaurs only by finding its skeletons. But as for Mars, of course, no humans have ever explored on this planet yet, but um, they did send some Curiosity robots onto that planet. But the robots that have explored Mars did not find anything yet. They didn't find any fossils. They didn't find any bones. They didn't find any sorts of remains of any of mammal life or plant life or bacterial life, microbes, for examples. Um, Microbes is all types of germs that we find everywhere. Uh, Viruses, bacteria, fungi, etc., etc. So, um, so yeah, no evidence has been found yet about life on Mars. But according to the experts, but that's in theory, no evidence. This is what the Mars might have looked like about 4 billion years ago. They might have looked like Earth, could have land, sea, clouds, sky, all the necessary things that are needed to support life on that planet. But we don't know yet, guys. We don't know if Mars did have life or not. So now we're going to talk about the next video, and I'm pretty sure you can all guess what the next video is. Maybe not, but I'm going to say it anyway. The next video we're going to talk about is Jupiter. Maybe you all guessed it, maybe not. So Jupiter is a planet just after Mars. It's going to be the first gas planet we're going to talk about. Um, it's a beautiful planet. It has a lovely spots all on it, including a gigantic eye, which is apparently a storm. But we're going to talk more about it in the next video. So now, uh, give me a sec. Okay, so I want to thank you guys again for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic evening tonight. I won't be uploading videos every day. Got a lot of things going on at the moment. Too much things, too much. Including one thing I can tell you about is I'm writing a book, a story about my life and that. I don't know how long will it be published and that, but I am writing it. And I'm using my granddad's typewriter as well because I don't like to use computers because they might have a virus planted into it, and I don't know which virus it could be. It might be the one that even the, let's say, Norton won't be able to recognize this virus. They might say that the computer's clean, and it might say um, safe to use, but the fact is someone could actually be watching what I'm typing on. So I don't want people to steal my story that I'm writing right now. So, but I do have a video on my YouTube channel. As soon as you go onto my channel, you would notice that there's a video called "Story of My Horrific Life." This is the homepage video I set it on because I wanted people to know the tragedies I have been through. But I'm going to talk a lot more about. So I'm going to write a lot more about it in my book that I'm writing right now. So be patient, guys. So that's why I can't upload videos every day. But I do have a lot more videos coming up soon. So, guys, thank you so much for watching again. Hope you all have a great evening. So, like, subscribe, turn the notifications on, and that's it. Cheerio.